going on, everybody? Get ready for this exciting episode of Fresh Fridays as we dive into a dynamic lineup of topics that are sure to keep you entertained and informed. First up, we'll break down the latest in college basketball, including the Final Four matchups and the buzz surrounding the prospect of Bronnie James. Next, we'll shift gears to the NBA playoffs, offering predictions and insights of which teams will come out on top as the postseason heats up. Then we'll turn our attention to the world of music, discussing upcoming releases from heavy hitters like Metro Boomin and J. Cole, and highlight the hottest tracks making waves on the charts. And then in NFL news, we'll analyze the latest free agency moves, including Stephon Diggs' recent trade and what it means for their new team. Finally, we'll tackle the topics of relationships, exploring the evolving roles of dynamics in the modern day partnerships. And we'll have a thought-provoking discussion on love, commitment, and communication. We'll wrap up the episode with a segment dedicated to a spiritual reflection. So join us as we share personal insights and experiences, discussing what God has revealed to us through the week and how it has impacted our lives. Don't miss out on this jam-packed episode of Fresh Fridays. Caleb, I'm passing it to you.
All right. How y'all doing, everybody? First off, let's get the introduction. Let's pass it around the room and we can, introduce ourselves. My name, Caleb. Everybody call me Feels Dope. That's my last name. I'm going to be guiding the conversation, and I got some of my closest friends here, and we excited to bring y'all this week's topics. I'm going to push it over to Ace.
You said, I go by Ace, rocking with my boys, and invited me to come be a part of something great. So excited to get started and hope this, takes off to new heights, new measures, and that we grow and blow and everything, man. I'm sorry, I'm a little tongue twisted, but I wish us the best. You know what I'm saying? I'll pass it to wherever the floor is open. Let's keep this thing rocking.
What's up, y'all? I'm Tuck. Pretty much, I'm here just to spread good energy, good vibes. Here to support my brothers and basically send out that good message.
Straight up.
That's it.
Straight up.
Yo.
Go ahead, Bello. Go and tell them who you is, man.
Yo, it's Bello. Big one. Mr. Make It Happen.
Yeah.
Talk with the homies, really get into some stuff. Happy to hear their thoughts on a couple things. Maybe get into a couple arguments. Who knows? We'll see.
Straight up. And then you got your boy Haji, live from the 305, Mr. 305 himself, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't trying to take up no shine. I want us all to be great. And Mills, passing it back to you, big dog.
For sure. I bet. I'm glad everybody. I'm hoping we have a blessed weekend, and let's dive straight into it. So our first topic, we're going to talk about college basketball. I saw we in the Final Four. That's a big topic of what's going on right now. I'm not going to say I care, but I'm more like in tune to what's going on with the women's. I saw Kate Clark. They had played last night for Iowa. I think they played against UConn, and they got the victory. So she going on for her second year to play in a back-to-back Final Four championship game, and she looking to get her first chip. A lot of people, think she one of the best players, especially in the last few years, to come down.
Man.
Whoa, back up.
I'm gonna let you go, bro. Go ahead.
But yeah, I just want to hear y'all thoughts on that, and we also can talk about men's basketball if y'all have any insight on that. So I want to know what y'all thoughts. I'll start off with Ace. I know he's been tapped in for sure, so let's see what he got to say.
As far as, of course, the women's game, I didn't catch it. I saw the highlights and the clips and looked at the stats. From what I hear and from what I saw, it looked like it was a pretty decent game. Ended up being them coming out on the win by 2 points. So I guess it was a little bit back and forth between the two of Paige Beckers and Clark. I feel like they had a good matchup. I know there was a controversial call that's been going around the internet that people feel like took the game away from UConn. It was an offensive foul called on their center. I can't remember the girl's name, but
Edwards.
I mean, Yeah. I mean, to me, it looked like it could have, it could have necessarily been an offensive foul because she technically was still moving before
Mm-hmm.
she was set to, set that screen. Um, but on the other part, the defender as well did kind of sell it a little bit. So, but I mean, of course, that's a part of basketball. Try to fight and finagle any way possible to, get a call to go your way, especially in something that's monumental as this. For them going back to back, I feel like that's definitely major, especially on Caitlin's part. Uh, but I mean, she's a dynamic player. Just from kind of watching her, seeing I watched the LSU game uh, that they played to go to the Final Four. I mean, hey man, she looking girls up for 41. Like ain't much you can really knock her about. I mean, it's hard to guard someone that can really create, play make, and shoot from anywhere. That's really hard to it's really hard to do. It's really hard to do. And I think last night she still had like 20 something. She was guarded and defended well from just the clips that I've seen in the highlights. But she definitely she's definitely one of those marquee players that will make some type of name if she does decide to go onto the WNBA, which is projected. But they're also been talking about how Ice Cube from the Big Three had offered her like a $5 million contract or something like that to
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But whatever route that she decides to take, I feel she'll make headlines just because of what she's capable of and what she's able to do from what I've witnessed. So that's just my standpoint on that.
For sure. What
Straight
about you,
up.
Raj? How you feel about everything as far as with the college women's basketball going on? How you feel about it?
Bro, I watched South Carolina game, and I was just like, okay, they're official because they beat NC State. The next game I was really proud to watch. I didn't get the chance to watch it. I watched the highlights this morning, but I ain't gonna lie. Caitlin Clark, she did her thing. She was doing her thing. She was doing some Curry-esque things, bro. But I will say that her team stepped up. That's what I would say. I would say her team stepped up. Like she ain't carrying the whole team, but when it was crunch time and they needed some buckets, oh man, she did her due diligence, bro. I ain't gonna hate on her. I was hating on her last game when she had beat LSU. I was like, oh yeah, Angel Reese and the other Flage. You know what I'm saying? They got Angel hurt and Flage ain't have her best game per se. But oh yeah, she made me a fan. Caitlin Clark
Yeah,
made me a fan.
for sure. That's what's so dope about sports. Is it's all about like moments, you know. Like you could be the best player
Yeah.
all year. In that moment, you might take your team helping you out a good bit, but then again, like, and at the end of the day, it's all about how you perform as a team in the biggest moments. And it seemed like in the biggest moments, she was able to come through. That's super dope. And her team did a lot more contributing. I looked at the box scores, and they had another girl on the team that scored a little bit more points than her. So it's pretty dope that seeing how everything gonna shape
They
out
stepped
and
in.
so yeah, man. And if y'all want to add any more input to that, or then we can push over to the Bronny conversation. It's up to y'all. Let me know what y'all want.
I would say that's the biggest thing as far as that Iowa team. I know
Yeah,
last year there was
Yeah.
a lot of scrutiny because Caitlin was doing all the work and her teammates weren't showing up.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Now we're seeing a different dynamic as far as the team is concerned. There's been a lot of help per se in that aspect. Like you saw last night, even the night, not even the night before last, but the last game against LSU, two other players had stepped up where they scored double digits to help. I mean, not that
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin necessarily needed it, but it was just more so that help is there and it's not all dependent on one person to score 30, 40 points a game to solidify the
facts,
dub. So,
definitely. All
That's
right,
real.
yeah, hell yeah. Moving forward, now we could talk about what other hit the news. I think this news dropped about 2 days ago. It was news that Bronny was declaring for the NBA draft. I know he didn't have the best season at USC as a freshman. I think he only averaged about 4 or 5 points, but he was coming off of that.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think he
Yeah,
was
the heart
coming off
attack.
that heart
yeah,
attack, right? So I know a lot
cardiac
of
arrest.
Yeah, a lot of players kind of were my bad. A lot of media and everything
Haters.
saying that he is, he better and he gonna dominate. And I think it caught a lot of people by surprise that he declared. But it seemed like his dad ready for him to get to the league. It seemed like that's the decision he want to make. And he also entered the transfer portal, which I think that means that if he was to not get drafted, he could still go and to another team in the college basketball. But I want to know what y'all think about that, and what would y'all like to see him do? Would you like to see him play by himself? Would you rather see the Lakers grab him? And I'll let Tuck and Bello, if they want to, they could take charge of that conversation first, and then me and Ace and Hodge can add our input after. But I want to know what y'all want to see Lil Bronny Jr. do.
Man, I think that Bronny is going to show up. He's been pretty much taught by all the best, but I do kind of have some concerns about his size because he's really not that big of a guy, But he definitely
Mm-hmm.
got.
That's a fact. Yeah.
I would love to see him and LeBron actually, play together because that's going to make history. To
Yeah.
see a father-son duo try to push for that title. I just hope he has it in him, and it's not just like the idea of a media thing where they're pushing forward to get him there just to have the hype, because you really want to see the true competition, and I think that's the only thing I really think about and kind of wonder about. I am a big fan of LeBron. Like I know he goes and he creates teams and stuff like that, but it's such a huge LeBron machine that what LeBron wants, LeBron gets. But is that the best thing for Bronny
Mm.
right now? You know?
I like that perspective for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bello, if you want to add a little input on that and speak up on it, and yeah, then I'll let Ace take the reins on that one.
Yeah, for Dez, you said you wanted to see Bronny and his dad play together?
Yeah, I do want to see it, definitely.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Do you think, I don't know what's going on in his mind or nothing, but do you think him getting drafted and all that and going to play with his dad would kind of mess up him having his own name? Like instead of trying to get it on himself, but
Mm.
Ooh, I like that.
Because I don't think it's gonna mess up his name because we're looking at the legacy of one of the greatest players that ever played the game. In comparison to Michael Jordan, his legacy could never uh, match that level of talent. And Bronny has showed us time and time before, especially if you watch a lot of his high school highlights. That man,
yeah,
he was built like that. It's just unfortunate that he went through that experience, in
mm-hmm.
his career. And that's what I'm saying. I just hope for his health and everything like that he's gonna be prepared for that level of competition and that
Yes,
level
sir.
of. And it's not all media. So, but the legacy should continue on. Everybody wants to see that. That's that would be a beautiful moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something we've never seen before. Have we ever seen?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen that before.
No.
What in particular?
Where
Father
like
and son duo, like in the
yeah,
NBA,
father,
like playing together.
Oh, in the NBA, yeah. That definitely is something unique.
It happened
mhm.
in baseball.
Yeah, King Griffey and King
Yeah,
Griffey
Ken
Jr.
Griffey and his son.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was about to say, yeah, let's
That's
clarify
tough.
what has happened, what hasn't. But yeah, man. What about you, Hodge? What you thinking?
Dog, listen, man. I don't think he should have declared for the draft, but I love how he still has eligibility to play college basketball again. Um, him showing that he's going to declare for the draft or him declaring for the draft just shows me LeBron probably on his last leg. Not saying that he's not a good NBA player no more, but LeBron probably ready to pass the baton, bro. Like he probably ready to get up out of there. Because previous couple weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, he was talking about like just his basketball mortality, like just where he sits, what's his legacy like. And LeBron doesn't usually talk about his legacy during the season. He talks about it in the off season. But and then
Mm-hmm.
he even started him and JJ Reddick started their own podcast and stuff. So I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
looks like
Oh
he's
yeah,
trying to
that
set
thing
up
nice.
for yeah, so I'm like he's trying to set up the to pass the baton and get up out of there. He said his quote was what the last thing he wanted to do, not win another ring or whatever. He of course he wants to do that, but he wanted to play basketball in the NBA with his son. So his son declaring for it just shows me, dang, this might be the last time we see LeBron play like for real, for real. So get ready for it. Like that's
Uh-huh.
just what it showed in my mind.
Definitely. Ace, you gave your input on it yet, bro?
Nah, I mean, I feel like I don't know. It comes with the test of time. Honestly, can't really gauge or dissect what how somebody's gonna be or what somebody's gonna do because we ain't never seen it. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
like with the fact of you know his his productivity in college obviously wasn't high solely
Yeah.
because one, he's a freshman. Uh, two, now it's no knock to say like he couldn't have came out there and showed the world like, yeah, I got that dog in me like my dad does or other players as a freshman and stuff like that. There's plenty of freshmen that have come in and made headlines, done numbers, and had phenomenal college careers.
Yeah.
But you also got to think of the fact that of course, when he first came in before the season even started, he had that scare of that cardiac arrest that really sidelined him from basketball for quite some time.
Yeah.
So it's just like with that happening before the season started and before him being able to even play basketball for this organization, it I feel like in a sense it kind of put it in hindsight of me thinking about what's next in life. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
if put yourself in Bronny's shoes. Like if I'm Bronny and I just went through this traumatic event. Thank God that I made it out and I had specialists and medical providers and doctors to help see me through it and make it out on the end. But also I'm looking like is this something that I really want to do for the rest of my life? You know what I'm saying? Like, do I want to take it to the next step or the next level? Do I feel I'm fit for it? Do I feel I'm capable of doing so? Um, I've had the backing of my dad say, yeah, I could play better than some of the people in the NBA. Not to say like, get big headed and, go out and prove that. But it's just more so
Uh-huh.
like kind of just thinking like, if I feel I'm capable, then that's what I'm going to do. And I don't really care what other naysayers are. And I feel like that's why he put himself into the draft because there's been a lot of speculation and talk like, oh, Bronny's not really like this and Bronny's not that and, yada, yada. But it's just more so like, you can't really say that because you don't really know. Like, you've only seen him play in the highlights that they showed on Instagram or Twitter or whatever social media outlet that you use of the snippets and clips of when he was in high school and the certain clips and highlights that he had in college. But you look at all those highlights, and everyone on a professional level that has dissected his game said that Bronny's a pro. So if pros are saying Bronny's a pro, who are we to really say that he's not? You know what I'm saying? These are pros' opinions saying that Bronny is a pro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, I play basketball to a certain extent. I'm no pro by no means. Uh, but it's just, just kind of coming from that like background. It's just like you can't really, pinpoint somebody's game or how somebody's gonna be until you actually see them in that environment. Who knows? He may get into the NBA and be a straight dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
Hmm.
And to credit that, like, bro, his dad is LeBron James. Like he the world is his. So I mean, if he does get drafted, he's gonna have the best trainers, the best dietitian, the best everything to make sure that he succeeds at the highest level. But also with all of that, it's up to him to, to show that when he's out there on that court. So I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of excited for bro. I hope he does well in any facet.
For sure. All right. Thank y'all, man. That was decent. Any last inputs, and then now we're gonna push it to the music. No, Ace,
Okay,
being
I got a question for everybody then. Going on
yeah.
all this. I know all y'all listen to it. So what do y'all rate We Don't Trust You with Metro and Future? What's y'all's rating on it from 1 through 10? 10 being the best.
I want to hit Bello.
Please, I want to hear that boy.
What
He
you
might,
what you rate?
he might have us muted. He might have us muted. He don't even know it.
Mike muted.
Nah. What's up, y'all?
What
Say the
what
question
you
one
rate?
more time.
What are you giving a rating for We Don't Trust You from 1 to 10? 10 being the highest, 1 being it ain't it.
It was doo doo. That's what one means.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, oh man, Metro
Dang, man.
and Future, bro. Whenever that duo come together, it's just always crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. For this specific project, though, I feel like
Oh man.
it wasn't. Nah. Like compared to Without Warning, like shit like that. I mean, stuff like that.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Like it's a different energy. It's a different type of vibe, bro. What didn't Metro even do Drake and wait, was
Yeah,
it Drake
but
and
trying to
Future?
be alive. Yep.
Nah. I'm talking about, or was it just a 21 album where he had Morgan Freeman on that joint?
Oh yeah, that was
You know what?
that was his album that he put out.
That was
Hills,
his.
Girls and Villains. Yeah,
It doesn't give the same energy. You feel me? It feel like
yeah.
it was towards something else. It didn't have that. It didn't have more of like that raw feeling, like it was made right there type shit. Like it felt.
What's the rating though?
I get that joint 6. Not gonna lie, 6.
See? All right. Daz, if you listen to it, what you rate it from 1 to 10?
So I'm not a big fan of Metro Boomin, but
Oh,
I
Mm,
give Future an 8.
mm.
And
okay.
I
I
give
mean, it is. That's. I feel like that's fair because to be correct and to be I can't think of the word right now, but to be fair, it is a Future album. So
Mhm.
let's not,
He,
So
he
okay,
said to be
back to your point.
objective.
Yeah, nothing.
So yeah, and I also feel like Metro Boomin is. I just kind of feel like the whole situation, like with the
Uh-oh.
Kendrick Lamar thing, all of that. I give Kendrick.
We didn't even
I'm
get to that
gonna go
point.
back. I'm not gonna go there yet, but I'm just gonna say I give it about an 8, and I give Metro Boomin about. I'll go with Bello, say a 6 overall, but I give Future an 8. I think that he was trying to lean into something more of the 56 night lane, but I just don't think that the people around him
Interesting
kind of did that
perspective.
enough. So
That's an interesting perspective. Kind
Mm.
of tap back into that 56 night. It's always interesting when artists like they do something and it did really well, and then like years later they try to recreate something like that, but it don't hit the same. I kind of get what you're
If you like that.
saying. How's what you rating it? 1 to 10, man.
Oh man, I'm biased as I don't know what, bro. They got Kendrick on the track. They get a 10 from me. They
Dang.
put
Kendrick
him
ain't that
in
great,
there.
bro. We gonna put that out there right now. Kendrick ain't all that, bro.
he not.
Y'all be
Hey
talking
bro,
about
chill out,
Kendrick
chill out, chill out.
like he the best thing since sliced bread, bro. No,
He's not.
nah.
Yeah,
He's not.
Kendrick is my Tupac. What you talking about?
No,
I'm
he's not.
dead.
He
I,
like that. Nah, it's all good,
I
bro.
said he's my Tupac.
He like that
Y'all can't,
lyrical, spiritual,
y'all
miracle
can't,
type music.
y'all
I
can't
do.
trust the man for his
That
I'm a
that
very
boom
Andre
opinion.
3000 type of guy. That's me.
that boom bap rap is that's
Boom
what they be
bap rap.
calling
There
it.
you go. Most def.
Beat
All
by
that.
Google Bot.
Let me get Mills rating real quick. What you rating it, Mill?
I want to be honest.
That's all we ask.
100%.
Honestly, I ain't listened to the whole thing yet, so don't kill me.
Oh man.
I
That's how
haven't
you
either.
know it wasn't
I
like
feel it.
that.
I ain't listened to the whole thing. Don't kill me. From a lot of what I like though, I thought it was real good, and then I heard some songs. So I was like, I can do without, but I gotta listen to
Yeah.
the whole thing. Give me like another week, and I'm gonna shake back on it. But I ain't gonna sit up here and act like I listened to the whole thing. So,
Okay.
but
That's
from
Very,
fair.
what
very skippable.
That's fair. That's fair.
from what
That's fair.
beats I've heard, they go stupid.
Yeah. Me personally, uh, I'm a big Future fan. Not gonna lie.
Uh-oh. Favorite
However,
song?
my favorite song on the album, and I think the best song on there is "Slimed In." But
Yeah.
Fire,
my personal
fire,
opinion. Uh,
Fire.
Yeah. If you haven't listened to it yet, I definitely recommend you go listen to that album and play that specific track.
That's the
The
one.
other tracks are at your discretion. However, my rating for the album, I give it a solid 7.5. Bro. Only because there's a couple of tracks on there that I skip. You know what I'm saying? I can't give an album a high rating if there's skips, multiple
That's how
skips
I
on.
felt too.
If it's more than three
Very
skips,
skippable. Huh?
and he's got 16, 17 songs, something like that. If there's more than three skips, like you already at an 8. You know what I'm saying? You can't really get a high rating.
With,
Okay.
with that being
Okay.
said, from an artist you really like, what's the acceptable amount of tracks on a good album? What would you
15.
put that number?
Honestly, I feel like it's
It's 3, like he said.
nah, he's talking about the number of songs for the entire project.
Like,
I would
Oh,
because I
say
know,
like 12 to 15.
There you go.
but say, I know me personally, when I look at an album and I see way too many tracks, that shit kind of, I
Yeah,
don't know. It make me feel it some type of way. Like, bro, I don't think I want to
I'm
listen
not
to
gonna
all
listen
this. Like,
to it. I'm not gonna
it's
listen
too
to
much.
22
It's too
songs.
much.
I'm not gonna do it.
the
Yeah.
artist said you don't like me enough to listen to all these.
Bro,
Bro,
they be
but
having albums
if
with, like,
sometimes there's way too many tracks that should have been cut, bro. They just, yeah, man.
And I feel like
yeah,
artists only do that because, like, of course, they're trying to stay, I guess, up to date. I don't feel like that's the right terminology to use, but that's what I'm
Stay
gonna go with
relevant.
right now. There you go. Uh,
They can just do the NBA YoungBoy route and release an album like every 3 months.
yeah, but
yeah.
I feel like that's why artists put out so many songs is because they want to take those breaks or they want to live their lives. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Mm.
okay. It's totally okay because they're human too. You know what I'm saying? That we get, or certain people, I ain't gonna say we, but certain people get into this uh, dynamic or uh, world of that, these artists are like superheroes and different stuff like that. And they're regular people just like us. You know,
Yes.
there's times,
Yeah, like idolizing them and stuff.
yeah, and there's times where they probably feel like, man, I don't want to go to the studio. I don't want to make no music. I don't want, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to chill. I just want to go here. I want to go eat this, be here with this person
Yeah,
or that
yeah,
person,
yeah.
whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to live
Sound
their
like J.
life.
Cole type. I feel you.
Yeah,
Yeah. So my last question for that is, why do they be adding, like, and I don't think they did this on this album, but like, I'm asking y'all two specifically, Ace and Bello, because y'all do make a little music and whatnot, which is pretty smooth. But why do artists do that thing where they add skits? Because respectfully, ain't nobody trying to hear that. Nobody trying to skit.
What? You know what? It
I'm
tells
not
the
trying to hear no
story.
skit, bro.
I feel like so. Okay, I'm gonna give my input on it because me personally, from an artist perspective, oh, quick little interjection, by the way. Y'all want to tap into your boy. Name is Amiri Jordan. Tap in, music spot, all that
Shameless
good stuff.
plug.
Well,
Shame.
yeah, also check out my boy Bello too, young Bello, you know what I'm saying? Anyways,
Love part
uh,
two.
yeah. So I feel like now I can't speak for every artist, but from an artist perspective, as someone who likes to create, and uh, kind of dive into the whole aspect of creation and making something essentially perfect. Obviously, nothing's perfect, but trying to make that perfect thing. I feel like when you add like skits or certain like snippets of something, it's kind of like a funny interjection to kind of tell a story because you're not, it's kind of reflecting on something that you may have seen in your childhood or something that you grew up watching or something like that that you thought was funny and that stuck with you over the course of time. So it's just like, oh, let me add this to a track that I feel will kind of, play on each other to where it's like listeners, oh, they'll hear that if they had the same childhood that I had, they'll think that, oh, that's pretty cool idea that he added this Friday snippet in this song. You know what I'm saying? Or like, for example, the Metro album of what we're talking about, all the little skits that's in the album. If you listen to it, it's telling a story, basically, about or why the fact that we don't trust you. If you listen to all the snippets and what's being said in the snippets, like it's basically like I'm this type of person, or I'm this way because like we don't trust you. So it's like all the snippets and what you're hearing and stuff like that is really like dissecting different bits and pieces of like what you kind of grew up watching or what you think is funny or what you think is cool, interjecting that with your creation, your artistry, and like giving that to the world. Now, if people pick up on it, people pick up on it. People like it, people like it. People don't like it, people don't like it. It's just, it's either for you or it's not. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I think it's pretty cool. I do it every now and again, sometimes stuff like that. But that's just my perspective.
I definitely agree with Ace. It's like they lock it into their movie type bag. They trying to put that picture into your mind and help the album flow a little bit better. You always have
Yeah,
like a certain image when you hear that skit in your brain. You feel me?
yeah,
Like the John from and Negroes from Paris. They're like no one knows what it means. No one
yeah,
knows what it means, but it's provocative. Like everybody knows that slogan from you know from the song. Some people never even seen the movie, but they know that one part type shit.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Like
I think
yeah,
it also helps with like music videos and stuff too, because you can kind of recreate that movie or that snippet or that skit from that scene into your music video to give it that much more of like what Bello is saying, like for it to stick. Like that's all
Mhm.
you're always going to remember this song because of this skit.
Ah,
mhm.
okay, I got you.
Like
Makes
I got like just a little insight. Like for example, like of course everyone in the world calls me Ace, right? So I grew up watching. I don't know if y'all know who this is, but I'm sure y'all do. Ace Ventura and Jim Carrey. I grew up
So
Yeah.
hey,
watching. I grew up watching Ace Ventura. So a lot of that has to do with my nickname, Paid in Full, with Ace Boogie. I don't know if y'all seen that movie. Like that has a lot to
mm,
do with my nickname as well because my dad is from New York. So it's like there's a lot of stuff that like ties into like why people call me Ace. So like I thought it was a good idea in working with one of my producers in a beat. There's a snippet from Ace Ventura. It's funny. I ain't gonna drop too many gems, but it's funny. But it's just something. It's just something that ties in to like the artist. You know what I'm saying? So like I
yeah.
feel like that's why the artists do it because there's some type of like backstory to it. You know what I'm saying? So
mm.
Okay, for sure. All right. And then moving forward, now we got our next topic, which is going to be NFL free agency. The biggest move this week that happened is former All Pro wide receiver Stephon Diggs got moved over to the Houston Texans. Now he's gonna get to play with C.J. Stroud. They got their young team up and coming. So I want to know what y'all's thoughts is on that. I'll start off with Hodge.
Bro, as a Dolphins fan, I am so thankful to God that this man is no longer in the AFC East, bro. Now, I'm not a Texas fan, but they just got them a real one. I'm just elated. That's all I have to say. Dolphins about to win the AFC East. I'm just happy finally.
So,
Rejoicing, rejoicing.
Ace, let's hear it.
so um outside of my dog Odell, uh Stephon Diggs is my second favorite receiver in the NFL. So I kind of follow him a little closely, not too closely. I thought the move was definitely coming, just given the productivity of the Bills the last couple of years. Not seeing him get it done. I was almost a Bills fan last year when I
Ew.
finally decided to make my mark, and select my team to represent, for my the rest of my duration of time on this earth. Because I've never
Oh,
really been a big football fan, but really started to get back into it and stuff like that. So uh, though, I feel like it was a key move. I felt it was coming. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he should have went somewhere else. I feel like a better fit could have been placed for him, but I think it works for him simply because the new Texans team is a very young team. So like he doesn't really have to, carry a lot of the workload like he did as far as in the receiver room, like he did in Buffalo. And I feel like just to kind of interject a part of the segment, kind of talking about the Bills, I feel like of what I shared with a couple of my friends and my wife is the fact that I feel like this is the reason why the move was made because I feel like it's a prove it year for Josh Allen. Not having any big name receivers because he also lost Gabe Davis and now he lost Stephon. I feel like for as far as Buffalo, it's like hey, it's like a make or break. You can either still lead us, to contend for a championship, or we're gonna move on. That's just my
Oh,
perspective. I don't necessarily, I can't speak for everybody else, but I feel like that's what's kind of shaking up in Buffalo simply because Josh Allen has been in the league for 7 years now. Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
he's a dynamic player. He's a great quarterback, a fabulous quarterback. He's mobile, he can throw, all that good stuff. But of course, he has to go up against, guys like Patrick Mahomes where he, you know, hoops the bucket and, and can't necessarily get it done all the way through. So I feel like, with that being said, maybe another fit or team could use them like better if they had different weapons and stuff like that. Not to say like top receivers or top running backs and different stuff like that. I just feel like the time in Buffalo is just kind of like on its last leg. And I think with the moves that's being made with Diggs being traded and all that other stuff, I feel like that's where it's at on both sides. I feel like it's good for Diggs because he'll be able to kind of like prove it this year with the Texans with a young star group and really heighten the career of CJ Stroud on top of what he did last year, uh, which that'll be a very dynamic team. Which also it sucks because I got to deal with them because they're now on my side because I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. So now I got to deal with the Texans. But I feel like I don't know. I'm just ready for the NFL season. That's all I can really say at the end of it. So
Yeah. Tuck.
I think that we're just seeing a transition in his career. Like I think when he gets over there to the Texans, he's gonna pretty much take on that mentor role and really step up. So that's why
that's a good perspective. Yeah.
I kind of see him transitioning from being like that workhorse, that huge receiver, to being more of a leader in that environment. So that's what I kind of see at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree a lot of what Ace said, but I do disagree that he's on his last leg out there. I don't think that you move off of a 27-year quarterback, 27-year-old quarterback at that point. I just think that as far as the receiver room and due to them paying Josh Allen so much money, I feel like they felt like they could do at least a little bit better with the receiver room as
Yeah.
far as long term getting younger
Trying to get
and
younger and
developing
cheaper.
talent. I don't think that
That makes
Josh
sense.
go anywhere. I don't see him in another uniform unless he gets disgruntled. But I think he is the face of that organization, and they're just gonna have to work out the kinks the same similar way. Even though he hasn't had a bunch of like success, the Herbert, he ain't going nowhere. He gonna stay where he at too.
Yeah.
I kind of see like I don't just see them guys moving off those quarterbacks. They already paid them a lot as it is.
It doesn't happen before with
I mean,
Carson Wentz.
that's what I was saying. Like, I mean, it's happened.
Yeah.
Not to say
Just
that
saying. Just
it
saying.
is going to. I just feel like if it's, I wouldn't say necessarily like it's a definite thing. I feel like it's kind of like on the brink of that conversation, like tinkering the idea. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
tinkering that. Like, what if we were to move? Because just think of the value that they could potentially get for him. You know
Ooh,
what
I
I'm
can
saying?
see that. I can see that.
They could start a rebuild, but it won't be a full blown rebuild like say the Commanders or the Giants or the Panthers or any team or the Bears, for instance. You know what I'm saying? They got Fields, and then they feel like Fields ain't working out, so we're gonna move on and we're gonna draft someone else
Mm-hmm.
that we feel that we can, do better with. But just in my instance, if I'm thinking about it, like not to say like, yeah, we're just gonna move on, even though you're the face of the franchise, just more so like I'm just kind of tinkering that idea, like, okay, if we're not getting it done with you, again, like something that Haji said earlier that he interjected, getting younger for cheaper.
Younger
Like,
and
hey,
cheaper.
Josh Allen only gonna get older. So if I can
20.
go grab one of these young quarterbacks that's coming up, and that's really good. Like for instance, like of course it may not be this year, but like if you think of next year, like you got I'm trying to think. Um,
Shadur,
or you got Shador, you got
Archie
uh
Manning, or Arch
you got
Manning.
Archie Manning. You know what I'm saying? You got potentials that are coming up within the next couple of years. Like, hey, look, if this don't work, we can tinker with the idea of moving him, put him in a different spot where he can go and play for, another contending team that he may potentially be better for. And we restart with a whole new young core
Yeah,
and
hey,
get
they ain't
going
gonna do that.
again.
They gonna fire the coach and the GM before they get rid of that quarterback
Oh
because
yeah,
they love
yeah,
that.
but
They love that
they
player.
love Josh Allen down Buffalo, so that ain't
Yeah, oh
happening.
yeah.
No time
That's
soon.
what
It's
I
just,
said.
for
Yeah,
my opinion.
I'm gonna end it with this
I
one.
feel you though. I hope they
I
get rid of
I expect Stephon to ball out. Josh Allen, he gonna remain to be on that team, and they gonna figure it out from there. And we excited to watch some football when it all come back.
2024. What is the man's role? What is the lady's role financially in a relationship? Whether you live in an apartment, living in a house, whether you renting or you own, like you know what I'm saying, or whether you drive one car, or you guys have two. So I put the question out there for you guys. What is your perspective? Because my perspective is, if I got it, she got it. If that's that's
Mhm.
that's my lady, that's my future wife right there. Like we gonna be on the same team, same page, and I want her to feel that same way. But not necessarily saying 50-50 splitting rent, splitting mortgage and stuff, but chip in where I'm down, because that's the whole point of being with somebody. They got your back, you got theirs. When you down, they pick you up, vice versa. But I put that out there to y'all.
Mello.
Yo, give me 1 second, my boy. Let me let you talk real quick. Give me 1 second.
Ace.
So to piggyback on some of the pointers that Haji had made, I feel like definitely as a man, I feel like our role. I know a lot of it has been built up on like kind of like you know the old school or our upbringing. Obviously, the man is the provider, the woman takes care of the house, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like a lot, especially now in today's time frame, everything's moving so fast and so quick. Not to say that you can completely like get rid of that or abolish that or not be like that. I just feel like in retrospect, a lot of it just really just deals down with that couple, or
Mm.
the partnership that you have with whatever, uh, or whoever your person is, not whatever, sorry. Uh, so that's a conversation that you and your partner have to sit down and have, okay, what's going to work for us? What's the
Hmm.
best course of action for us to take? Because that's what it all comes down to at the end of
That's real.
the thing. It's not I and it's not you, or it's not
Mm.
me taking care of this and it's you taking care of this. It's us. Like we are a team. When you get into a relationship with someone, it's a bond, it's a partnership, it's unity. So now you start working as a team. So it's as the two parties of the team, y'all have the discussion. Okay, what works for us? Okay, we 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 are going to pay the bills like this. We are going to take care of the bills like such and such. You know what I'm saying? And if one
Mm-hmm.
person lacks somewhere, it's like, okay, let me step in and help you. If you can't get this, and then of course it just flip flops. It teeter totter. It's like a teeter totter. We're on it
Balancing beam.
together. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. One person's gonna be down. You got to be able to carry that until someone comes up. Can't get flustered or frustrated, uh, or disgruntled because your person or your help me. That's what my parents call your significant other is your help me. You can't get disgruntled when your help me is down, because how would you feel if your partner was that way when you're down? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it really works out with just how y'all figure it out. However, the relationship and the structure works. You know, we it's at the end of the day, it's a team effort. We are going to do things like this, and just like Haji said, like my opinion is it's like what's mine is hers, and vice versa. I would hope, because it's
Yeah.
like, again, if I got it, you got it. So there's no asking like, hey, can you take care of mine? Like, no, whatever is available for us, it's available for us. Take care of what needs to be taken care of, and then we'll dissect and figure out the rest. But it's just like there is no his and hers or mine and yours. Like I feel like the world gets so caught up in that mine aspect to where they miss out on the true like meaning of partnership.
Hmm.
Sure. I'll
Feel
let
that.
Tuck fellow get a input now.
I Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I mean, I feel like it should definitely be like that, but with that comes a lot of problems. Like it's like two sides to it. Like you said, what mine is hers is mine, right? And you said
Uh-oh.
everybody's gonna have lows and ups, right?
Yeah.
How do you proceed on a situation where she's always on the low? You all the way up, like, but she's not really working. She's been down there for a while. How do you proceed on that situation?
She been down for a while, huh?
Dang.
Because
Uh,
because look, you expected, hey, I got it when you down, and you got me when I'm down. But look, you ain't been down there. Look, she been down there for a minute. What do you do
Mm-hmm.
now?
well, to answer that, in all transparency, there's been moments in times where I've been down. I've been that person that's been down. So, from speaking from experience, I feel like that shouldn't waver you. Just speaking man to man, from man to man prospect, because already what a man's role is, just based on the world, is you're the provider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, out of regardless of her being down or whatever, you're the provider at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, it goes to say, my situation that I've had in the past, like, you know, it's hard because, when you're down, sometimes it's a long way and a hard road to get back up. But once you back up and you're able to help, or you're able to, be that help me, especially like when the other party is down, that's what you're there for. Now, of course, in every situation, you're not always going to be down. Like, it may feel like that, but you're not really down, or that person's not really down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't wait.
Mm-hmm.
My thought process and my answer to you is it shouldn't waver you, simply because there's going to come a point in time to where it could be a point to where that your person is doing better than you.
No, for sure.
You're not even
Ultimately,
and you
yeah.
and you're not even down. But then there's gonna come to a point to where it's like you're gonna need help. And it's just like if there's like this issue or problem with, you know, or a notion of like you always, feeling some type of way because that, your person is down and you're having to step in, when the roles were reversed, you can't feel no type of way if that treatment is being, projected towards you because you were given that treatment when I was down. So
No,
it's
for
For
like
sure.
sure.
All right. I got you. Tuck, what you think?
So, oh, my bad, bro. I mean,
He's gonna chime back in.
Yep.
I would say lean more towards the traditional and have the ability to lead with the knowledge of the world. So like if you stick towards the traditional route, because like he said before, like you are the provider. It's like you have to understand the modern world, but still carry your values and principles and able to be a cohesive unit. So it's like the world is changing so fast, and we're living in the information. What do you call that? Information society.
Generation.
So yeah, like
Information highway.
information is
Information
coming all the
generation.
time. Yeah, and a lot of times today's women are very intelligent, so you have to be able to cultivate the mind, and also still be able to provide. But understand that we're not living in the 1960s anymore. So, like now at this point, a man's job is never done. So it's like you have to be intelligent, and you have to be able to be a provider and able to keep a peaceful home. And if you don't have both of those things working, then you're going to have some things fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
So that's that's my perspective on it.
I got
And
you.
the amount of money I think you need, it's probably about 150K. You probably need about
150K. That's what I was gonna say.
Hold
Like,
on.
yeah.
There's an actual number. There's actual number what the average U.S. person spends with a full family, like what you have to make. I'm gonna see if I can find that real quick.
It's probably 150K. I ain't gonna lie. From
I think,
joint, just the household.
Yeah,
from
not
stuff
just
that I've seen on the net is, they've been saying 100K ain't even comfortable living for
no.
middle class people.
Yeah.
So
Maybe 10 years ago, 100K would have been good, but not now.
yeah, not now.
Yeah.
Nope.
So Bella, what you was gonna chime in and add before that part?
Yes, men are brought up to be providers and all that, and you do what you gotta do as a man, right?
Right.
Yeah.
With men automatically taking that role, like we've seen it hundreds of times, a very, very rich and successful man will bring a broke, I guess, like a woman that doesn't have it like that, right? They'll
Yeah.
definitely bring that into their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the other side, a rich and successful woman, why don't you think they don't do that as much as we do? Like take a very down on his ass man and bring him up.
They don't feel like
say
that's
I've actually seen it,
I was about to say,
and it happens.
I was about to say, I done seen where it was some, very successful women. Most notably, I seen it up north. They got a great job, great career, and then they mess with a dude who ain't got no job. And then you see that in a lot of communities, that we in, that we came up from. The saying goes like this. I'll just
I've
say it
only
like this.
seen
The
it in
saying
a
goes,
Tyler Perry movie. That's why I said that.
you are
That's the only time.
focused,
That's the
please.
only
I don't
time I
know
seen
what.
it.
I was gonna say the saying goes like this. I've seen it before, but the saying goes like this: beware of neighborhoods where you see where men do not get up and go to work, but instead the women get up and go to work. Because wherever you see a neighborhood where there are majority of men who get up and they are, around the neighborhood all the time and they don't go out and do their job, then that's where you see impoverished areas. So what I'm trying to get at is where you see the man, the head of the family, or the head of the household, or whatever it's supposed to be, when they're not doing their role, being provider protector for their family, but you see the women doing the role. You see most of the time you see poverty and things of that sort. And I'll say that just coming from my neighborhood, because I see a lot of people where their main transportation is bicycles, and they sitting outside drinking or smoking, and they hang around all the time. It's not really a good neighborhood until it gets gentrified, unfortunately.
I think so. More
Yeah.
direction Zaire was going, my bad, Bella was going, was based more on like probabilities. Like you're more likely to see the man dating a woman that's not making nearly as much than the reverse of like the woman with the very successful career. Not nearly as
standards.
That's what I think that he's going off of. There is like I think it's a terminology. It's called like It's called hypergamy. You can look it up. Basically, like a lot of women, they like to date up in the social class, which I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. Like, choosing
They looking for
somebody,
providers.
looking for a provider role, right? And that's often just like what it is in nature. It's not always the case, but often, it is. Like you could even think back to being like in a high school, right? You got everybody a freshman, and then the girl, she might be dating a junior, senior. He got the car. The other dude's not even old enough to have a license yet, right? So I mean that's kind of just all, right? You see it all the time. Like the dudes that got the cars and the dudes who, more status. He play on the football team, or his family got money, and he got more, swag, more shoes, this, that, and the third. He more likely to get more of that attention. So you just see that often. But moving back towards the main focus of the conversation, I'll let Haji give his input.
Yeah. Just going back to the gender roles nowadays, 2024. I love what Ace and I love what I love what all of you guys said. Most notably, talking about keeping the tradition, so keeping the principle of things. Even if I make less than my woman, I'm still not gonna let her pay the full rent of the crib or the full mortgage of the place, because that's just, hey, this is what the principle is. I'm gonna knit and grit, pay this mortgage because, hey, like you get utilities, and maybe it's some pride, maybe that's what it is, but I know I have to have enough to sustain myself. And if I have enough to sustain myself, then I have to be man enough to take care of my woman too. Not saying that she needs anything. She is independent, and I love her for that. But I want to take care of her. And that's why she's with me, because I want to take care of her. She's with me for a lot of different reasons. But she knows that when it comes down to it, Haji gonna make it happen. And that's exactly what I feel like our roles should be as men. You first be able to take care of yourself, and then you can take care of your household. And your woman is part of your household. She can make as much money and go out and do all she can. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to make sure that you can take care and provide and protect your home, because that's your home. You the man.
Gotcha. So,
what's a traditional woman to you? We talked about what you think that traditional being a man is. What's a traditional woman to you?
I like that question. You know what? I'm gonna need to give time to the rest of the panel, and then you could come back to me on traditional woman, because I got to think about it.
I know C got something to say about it.
bruh, listen, I ain't say nothing.
I know he got something to say about it.
I ain't say nothing. I'm gonna let Ace handle this one.
Oh, they scared now. They scared now.
Hey, well, you trying to set everybody up?
Truthfully, I think a traditional woman is not. I don't feel like she should be held to this persona or roles agenda. I think a traditional woman is someone who carries her own, who has her own, and is more than capable of doing as she so pleases. I feel like with that comes a lot of, I guess, scrutiny, simply because when you're dealing with an independent woman, because that's who that is. A lot of times, she's so used to taking care of stuff on her own or doing stuff on her own before she comes in contact with said us as men who are supposed to be providers, that when it comes down to that, there's always some type of battlefield, simply because she's been doing this for so long. Now you're trying to step in and take over something that she's already been doing. So that's why it kind of goes back into the conversation that we had of, that teeter-totter, that balance system is when you're with a traditional woman. That's my opinion. Now everybody's opinion may be different, but I feel like a traditional woman is someone who is a woman that's independent, a woman that really doesn't need a man. I feel like that's a traditional woman, simply because she's able to provide, she's able to, do what she needs to do as far as taking care of her, as well as the same thing should be for a man. That's a traditional man, someone that can provide for himself, take care of himself, do as he so pleases. You know what I'm saying? Independence. And having that and being able to operate in that. Now, when those two come alike and come together, I feel like again, that's when you sit down and have those conversations as a team to team build, because that's the only way stuff's gonna work when you're dealing with two independent people. You got someone that's been doing on their own as far as a woman's perspective, and a man that's been doing on their own from a man's perspective. Those two collide obviously off rip if you don't really sit down and have those conversations amongst the two. You're always gonna have problems because now it's getting gentrified and who's supposed to do what and who's supposed to do the dishes and who's supposed to take out the trash, who's paying the rent, who's paying the light bill. Yeah, it's like it shouldn't be all that. You know what I'm saying? It really shouldn't. It shouldn't be all that. But that's my opinion on a traditional woman, is a woman who's independent.
Definition of a traditional woman. I like that.
Mm.
I respect it. I respect it being your definition.
Yeah. Your definition.
Not tough.
But like history's definition is the complete opposite.
That's what
Yeah.
Not real. I don't think traditional women exist anymore.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't.
Why you say that?
Well, what's your definition though?
Yeah, what's your definition?
If you think about if we all pretty much probably come from similar backgrounds. Today's woman is not our mothers or our aunties. Like they have so many different examples of being high function and basically pursuing their ambitions and their goals and their desires. So it's kind of like back when we think about the traditional woman, like when I think about our aunts and our mothers and the people and the women that we grew up with nowadays, they were kind of like in the man's shadow. Today, a woman could be a superstar.
Yes,
right?
Yes, Lord.
And that's why and that's why I say it comes into the idea that in order to have a very strong woman, a powerful woman, you have to be able to lead with some type of knowledge and information. You can't approach a woman, because I think women are the most educated individuals in America today.
Absolutely.
So it's like you can't really approach a woman without any type of knowledge or information and think that you're going to have a productive relationship. The traditional woman, that's where that came from, because they were in the shadow of the man. A lot of poor men, maybe not the best men sometimes, and they may have been not being treated well and things like that. And that's where that ideal came from, is, you don't need a man, and you don't need this, and you don't need that, and make sure you work hard and you get your education, and don't
need that.
Yeah. Don't be subjected to this or that. So that's why I said the traditional woman is gone. The woman has evolved. And I think that today's men have not.
I think is from an American.
Talking that shit. Talking that talk, bro.
That's real.
That's real.
That's real, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
Bello, what's your definition?
Hey man, where can we improve? If the men ain't doing what they supposed to do these days, how can we get better? We got problems, we need solutions.
You ain't tell us what your definition of
you ain't tell us what your definition was.
You ain't tell
Give us your definition, and then we'll give you we'll scoop up an answer how we can be better. Or everybody can get a piece on what we feel we can do as men too.
Talk that talk.
On the respectful part of it.
Oh my gosh.
On the respectful part of it, every man says the same thing. What, bro? You want a girl that cook? Girl that clean? Bro, that's the bare minimum, bro. That's the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum.
People out there that can't do that.
Of traditional. I'm not saying that's the bare minimum today. I'm just saying of traditional, that's the bare minimum of what women used to be like back in the day. Right or wrong?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So just do that. Why can't they?
Is that all? So is that all she doing? Is that all she?
That's all a traditional woman is.
That's all she got to do.
That's all they was doing. Women didn't even have rights to what, work, vote, anything
Nah, it was
for.
to vote. Yeah, back in that time.
Now we talking about the past, so let's talk about the present. Now
A
what is your
modern traditional woman.
modern traditional woman?
Modern,
Modern.
bare minimum.
Modern traditional
Let's
woman.
let's keep a woman that knows how to cook, take care of herself, clean. Shit, bro. Find a woman that can sew. Like, like these,
That
like,
has life
bro.
skills. Nah, I see
Like
what
the
you're saying.
the
Don't gotta
recipes
work.
have been
Yeah,
lost. The recipes have been lost.
it goes back to the woman having independence.
Yeah, but
Woman
it also goes back to
independent.
what Tuck was saying.
Yeah, it
No,
goes back
Like
to
they
what Tuck
don't
was
need a
saying too.
man. That's what a modern
Exactly.
woman is. They don't need a man. And it's just
Yeah.
like, can you capture that? Like, can you
Bro,
elevate yourself and feed them more than just physically? Feed them mentally, like Tuck
I
was
ain't
saying,
trying
bro.
to stir the pot, bro.
I'm
I ain't.
catching
man
it.
wouldn't
I'm
be able to
catching
live
it.
without women and vice versa, bro.
I'm
Women
not trying to
cannot
stir the
live in
pot.
a
But
society
what
without
Bello's
men.
saying and what everybody else saying ain't making no sense, bro.
Before, I would say before you could just be a figurehead.
Yeah.
You
No,
could just be a
I agree with
figurehead.
Desmond. I'm not gonna
You
lie,
could
I
just
agree
be
with
a
Desmond.
figurehead in your house, and then, but now today you have to be a figurehead and an example. So you can't just be a figurehead and come in like, I work today. They're gonna be looking at you like, okay,
I did too.
well,
Okay. Yeah,
I
I
work
work
too.
today too. Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. Like everything you do, especially like women are way more analytical, so they're like watching every single thing that you do. So it's like
Every single thing.
everything that you do, and they're like trying to figure out if you're a good fit or this, that, or the other. So, now you're more of an example. So you can't really like. Sometimes that's where it comes hard on us because you're like, where
To,
can I rest? There's
to
nowhere to
touch on
rest
what you're
because,
saying, to
huh?
touch on what you're saying, that's a good point right there. As far as an example, they're watching everything and they're seeing if you're a good fit. The reason why
Yeah,
they're seeing if you're a good fit is because they seeing, can I have kids with this person? Can I build a family with this person? Can I
yeah.
live the rest of my life with this person? Is this person a good fit for all of these things?
Or
If one
somebody
of those
better.
boxes, or exactly, if one of these boxes don't fit for this particular individual, it ain't gonna work.
So, all right. Any last words on that part?
Yeah, man. All I was gonna say was, searched up what a modern traditional woman was. Says, she may hold qualities such as family, respect, loyalty, and integrity, while also embracing independence, equality, and personal growth. So she's doing that balancing beam on her side, prioritizing her career, education, while also valuing her role with the family and community. So it's a mix of both, and I don't think that we should lose the good things of our history and our tradition, but also we should let go of the negativity of our past, and we can look at our parents and grandparents and see whether what we want to be or what we don't want to be. But we always should reference our past, because if we don't reference our past, if we don't pay attention to our past, we're bound to repeat it. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, I'm with you. And
Right.
as far as Bella said, we can't be losing recipes. Question. We can keep this one short into the simple, and we can push it forward, and we're gonna see y'all in the next coming weeks. The last question of the day
Bello
is
can't cook.
That's crazy. He's
what
gonna
did
put me on the
God
spot like
reveal to
that.
you?
That's why
What
you
did
was saying
God
the tradition.
reveal to you this week?
What was the question? I'm
Hmm?
sorry.
The
Where's
What did
Denver
question
be
God
talking
do
shit?
this week?
the question is, what would Pluto do? All right. The question is, what did God reveal to you this week? We just gonna go around the room and then we gonna walk out on that one. Starting off with Hodge.
Yes, God revealed to me this week that when you follow what He wants you to do and you keep Him first, everything's gonna start flowing. He taught us last month about cultivating patience, but this month we're talking about nurturing growth.
Very familiar to
So yeah, talking about nurturing growth. So that's what God had taught me. He taught me just stick to Matthew 6:33, keeping Him first, and everything else gonna follow. So that's what I got.
Okay, Tuck.
Oh, he brought me back home today. Well, 2 days ago. So I'm back out here. That's what he. That's what he revealed to me over the last beginning of the month. So, oh, and also, I would say just embrace your circumstances. Try to be present as possible,
Mm.
because sometimes we live in the future, or we're always living in the future or living in the past. Sometimes it's just good to be instead of actually focusing on what's gonna like your future, and just be appreciative of the moment.
Okay.
Gratitude.
Ace.
Uh, what God revealed to me this week, uh, yesterday, I think was a big revelation of the fact that don't become blindsided to your own action. Uh, I think that's the biggest thing, and how your actions affect others. Don't become blindsided to that.
For sure. Bello.
Man, what God made clear was like, what's gonna happen, what's meant for you is meant for you, bro. Like,
Mm.
of course you control your own destiny, you got free will, all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna lie, God will put some shit right in front of you, like, here you go. Here's a little help. You know what I'm saying? Like the same thing I say to Mills all the time, bro. I said, you already hear what he gonna do, bro?
Gonna always provide.
He always gonna provide, bro. Even when you don't think he will, bro, he will. I promise you.
Mm.
That's real.
He gonna throw that in for you, bro. The
Yeah.
pain don't ever last forever, bro.
Uh,
And that's what God revealed to
only
me.
lasts for a moment. Only
How
lasts
about
for a
you,
moment.
Mills?
What did God reveal to me this week? He revealed to me that always put your faith in him, number one, and two, always have a plan, man. You gotta have a plan. One thing about life, one thing about everything is always gonna change, man. You can't get comfortable, you can't get complacent. You always gotta be on your toes, have a plan, and aside from having a plan, execution, because you can sit around and you can plan everything, but when it comes to the execution piece, that's the biggest thing. Plan and execution. As long as you're doing those, I think that you're gonna be good. And give it to God, pray, and put that work in. So yeah.
Oh, shoot. That's it, ain't it?
Yeah. So I'll let you closing out. I'll let you do your intro. My bad, your outro with the closing out piece. Go ahead and kick it away, Hodge.
Well, we appreciate you. We thank you guys for tuning in for another exhilarating episode of Fresh Fridays. We hope you enjoyed our lively discussion, insightful analysts, and positive vibes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on all social media platforms, and to tap in us on all these streaming platforms to stay updated on all things Fresh Fridays and our street gospel. Until next time, keep spreading love, staying positive, and embracing the freshness of each day, like a haircut. Have a fantastic weekend. And always remember to keep it fresh. Deuces.
Later.